right, let me turn on my video. I forgot about that part.
Come back.
I know. So I hear a little bit of an echo. I don't know if you guys can hear echo on me at all. Hi, y'all. How you doing?
Hi. I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I am coming up for air. How about that? I feel like I am finally back to the real world again. I feel like I've been in a cloud for like a month now is what it feels like. I feel like I've just been going nonstop since the end of June. That's what it feels like. Yeah, it's a little crazy, but all in the good way, all in the good way. But hey, here we are. And we have the old crew here. So welcome everybody to the Marley Bird YouTube channel and to BiCrafty Bootcamp Lesson 17 redo. And the very last boot camp of BiCrafty Bootcamp. I mean, I can't believe we're already to an end of this. And at the same time, I'm like, I can't believe I've been going since March. It feels like this just started.
Right. It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
It's pretty amazing stuff. All right. So I've just saved all the information I just wrote in the video description box for those of you who want to follow along with tonight. The pattern has been completely updated on all three, on lesson 15, 16, and 17. And as promised, those of you who joined me for the original lesson 17, I mean, guys, you guys know, I was so tired. I just was not doing things right. And I was like, look, I just need some time. If you give me some time, I will put everything together in a PDF that you'll be able to download for a brief amount of time for free. Instead of the ad-free PDF is usually a for purchase only. I put it all together in the ad-free PDF. It's just a plain doc. There's nothing pretty about it. It's just that it's all there. And so it is available on lesson 17 right now. So if you go to lesson 17 and go to the bottom, you'll actually see where you can click it and download it. And that will be available until Sunday, August 15th, 2021. After that, it will be a paid for purchase. But I did update everything. On there, I included the thumb gusset instructions that we talked about last time and what I suggested as an alternative. We'll talk about that a little bit here today because we're just going to talk about it. That's just where we're going to be. And yeah, so none of you were there with me last time, which is totally fine.
You weren't.
Nice to have you back here, ladies.
Yes, nice to be back.
So before we jump in with everything with me, why don't you give everybody an update where you are? How's everything going on your end?
I am like just so smitten with my mitten. I'm so excited. I really am. So I am working on the top of my mitten right now while we chat. I'm really excited to see it all get done and all come together, like really excited. And I wanted to ask you, so I had a similar experience. I think Lindsay last week was saying that someone was telling her everything that we've made. And she said, no, you're not a beginner knitter. Like, that's not a beginner. So I was talking about it on my Instagram today. I'm like, I need to ask Marley, like, what am I? Like, what would you consider us? Like, I don't know. I'm not a beginner. Then what am I? I'm floundering here.
That's so cute. Because actually in the video description box, I put in there, you guys are beyond beginner knitters, but you really are intermediate knitters at this point. You are well established into the intermediate knitter world. Some of you have ventured into the capital K knitter world. I think the only thing here on forward is just building on the knowledge base that you have. All the different skills that you've tried out so far, I mean, they are so plentiful. There's so many things that people have never done before, even that have been knitting for years and years. So you absolutely are an intermediate knitter. Absolutely. I mean,
which is like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Because in April, I didn't know what I was doing. And like now I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that.
Oh yeah.
And it is. I think one of the most exciting parts about boot camp, number one, obviously we turned so many people into BiCrafty, right? Joined our BiCrafty crew. And that's so exciting. Like seeing how many people invested their week after week to really join this and learn something new is always really exciting to me. But I was also really encouraged by the people who've been knitting for years who jumped in and said, I never had that skill. I never learned this, or I never learned that. I've been knitting for 30 years. I never knew how to do this. I've always wanted to try continental. I love it. That was really encouraging to me. So yes, I mean, all around, I think everybody had a great time and it's been awesome.
That makes me feel good. I mean, I feel like I dropped the ball a little bit there for a little bit, but I was doing the best I could. I was like, this is where I am in my life.
I don't think anyone's leaving disappointed.
Wow. I hope not.
We're all doing the best we can. You're doing great. You know, to add on to what Chrissy was saying, I think in the blog post for this lesson 17, I said we would love the input from you guys now because you are beyond beginner knitters now. And we were giving you these crocheter's edge tips. But eventually, this is going to be a course for other people that they're going to pay for. You got it all for free, but we would love to know if there were tips that you can think of from your crochet that I forgot to include, that I didn't think to put in the blog post. So you message me or drop us a line. I'd love to know those things. And also to that end, there were some experienced knitters in this group, and obviously there's experienced crocheters, and we're going to be launching Crochet Bootcamp in September. And I would be so excited to see everyone from this group come join us and let's work on crochet together. And you can help the newbies with that. I think you don't have to be new to enjoy this. So that's what I wanted to tack on to what Chrissy
It'll
said.
be helpful too, kind of being on the other end of it all. Gosh, you guys, my plastic thing that goes on the carpet is like gone. So it's like I can't roll. Because it broke, and so I was rolling. I was like hitting the thing, and I was like, I can't take this anymore. So tomorrow I'm going to Office Depot. I think what would be really good is for everybody to be on the other side of the coin. So as a crocheter learning knitting terms and relating it back to crochet. And now you know both. So you can come in and help the crocheters, and you could be like, oh, when you're doing that, that's very much like you're doing the single crochet. That's like when you bind off like this. And, it's like, see what you're doing here. And I think that kind of encouragement would be very helpful.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
Are you on the floor, Chrissy?
I'm not. It's the angle.
You totally look like you're on the floor.
My office chair is really low because I'm very short, and my webcam's not connected to my laptop, so it's a very weird angle. But I'm not on the floor.
I was like, what is she doing?
Those are actually very high on the wall. Those baskets, like almost to the ceiling.
All right,
they're beautiful baskets.
Yeah,
thank you.
All right. So lesson 17, I can't tell you how many messages we got. People are like, I know that she was on and then it wasn't there. It just wasn't something that was supposed to be published, guys. It had to go. And it wasn't even helpful. Like at the end of it all, it just would have frustrated you so much because it wasn't a helpful boot camp live, so to speak. It just ended up being like, look, we're just going to hang out because I'm just not in the frame of mind to do this. What I had written down was all messed up. And so it was like, look, I'm just going to get rid of all of this. We're going to hit reset, hit redo. And that's essentially what happened. So here's where we are. Last time, I talked about the decreases. And the thing is here, guys, you know how to do these decreases. So me showing you on camera is really not that necessary, but what I do want to do is talk to you how to do the Kitchener stitch. Oh, that yarn is gone, and I don't know where that yarn. Oh, I know what it was. It's because I was playing yarn chicken, and that's all that was left. Okay. Oh, I just lost my mind. But I do want to show. I want to show how to do the Kitchener stitch, so that way when you get up to the right number of stitches, we can talk about that. I do want to talk about the needle counts because I wrote the pattern out the way I did this particular shaping here, which is way better than what I originally was trying to do. So guys, be really grateful that the last video didn't stay because it just was not good. Like as soon as we hit end, I deleted the whole thing. Like it was immediate. It had to go. I was rude in it about a couple things and I shouldn't have been, and it just wasn't good. So
she was sleeping 4 hours a day for 7 days.
I shouldn't have said some of the things I said, but I mean, they aren't terrible. I'm making it sound like I was awful. I wasn't awful.
You weren't awful. You just made a little funny comment. And
all right. So this is one of the things that we did talk about is the thumb gusset. So if you guys remember in week 15, was that when we did? No, 16 is when we did the thumb gusset. And I talked about originally, Catherine, I think you were typing it up with me. Originally, I was having it to where they were going to increase every third round. And then I was like, I was second guessing myself. So then I changed it to every other round. And then I did it myself. And I was like, oh yeah, that's why I wanted every third round. Because it looks like it's a nubbin. It looks like it's a nothing right there, right? Now, is it bad? Is it not? No, it's not bad. It's just, it could be longer. Like typically you want your gusset to be longer. So one thing you're going to notice now with the update to lesson 16, it's not that all of my original instructions are there, but you'll see that it says thumb gusset alternative. And it's essentially that you're going to increase every third round, not every other round. And it's going to make your thumb gusset the same number of stitches, but a little bit longer. So you're going to have, it's going to be taller, not just so short and squatty. Does that make sense? Because this does work. This does work the way it is. It's just, it should be longer. It should be longer. I shouldn't have second guessed myself, but I did. And I mean, you can see it still works. Like it's still going to be fine. Once I pick up my stitches, it's going to be fine, but it should technically be longer.
Mine comes up to halfway up my thumb.
Seriously? Yeah, mine does not. It's so short. I mean, you can see it. It's short right there.
I have such tiny hands. Mine literally, hold on, I'm putting it on because you have to see it. Mine literally comes up to halfway, more than halfway of my thumb.
Holy moly, girl.
I have really tiny hands.
I guess so. My daughter has thumbs. They're like I call her, she has toe thumbs. It's like her thumb looks like a big toe, but it's an actual genetic thing. And she's gonna kill me for saying this, but it's like they're actually called like club thumbs because it looks like it's a really short nail bed. It looks like a big toe on her thumb. I never noticed it before. And then she was like, look at my thumbs, Mom. And I'm like, oh, she goes, what are my most feared words in the world? I said, what? She goes, let's have a thumb war.
Oh, poor Allie.
I was like,
that's
really?
Hilarious.
Like, look, Mom, look at my thumb. And it is, it's really short. But the funnier thing is that my son Josiah has one thumb like Laura's and one thumb like mine. So his aren't even like the same. So
really?
Yeah, she's like, at least I'm symmetrical. I don't know. It's a genetic thing. I had no idea. But anyways, so
I don't know if you guys are looking at the chat at all, but people are saying that the video is not as bad as you thought. Everyone was having fun. Erin says, I was cracking up. And my husband said, I can't hear what they're saying, but it sounds like everyone's having fun. And Stacy does want to know, she says her thumb gusset is huge but short and wants to know if there's going to be a way to fix that. So I said, well, it sounds like it's perfect for the toe thumb. We'll just give it to your daughter.
All right. So the question there would be, Stacy, did you catch the fix that I had on the thumbs? Because originally, I don't know what I was smoking, y'all, and I wasn't really smoking. I've never smoked a day in my life. But originally, like I put like you had to have like 24 stitches on your thumb, which is just crazy. That's a 4-inch thumb. That's a 4-inch round thumb. And I don't know where I got that. I mean, I have no clue. So Stacy,
deprivation.
I think so. Stacy, if you were following with blind faith that Marley wouldn't steer you wrong, I'm sorry to say that I did a bad thing and it was wrong. So honestly, Stacy, here's my words of advice. You ready? You get to use your yarn that much more. And I would absolutely just rip back to right above your Latvian braid, which I know is just like gonna break your heart. You're like, no, I just put all this work in, which I totally get, but you're never gonna be happy with the mitten the way it is with the thumb as big as it is. And I know that is not what you want to hear. I know. I hear you. I hear you screaming at me, Stacey. I hear you. I can hear you. I'm so sorry.
She's shaking her fist at you right now.
She's shaking her. Look at my thumb. I am so sorry. It's just yeah. I'm so sorry. It was my
in there.
But it's my mistake, Stacey, and I'm so sorry. I should have. Overall, guys, typically I write out the full pattern and then we copy and paste the pattern in. And with this one, I was dialing it as we went and it wasn't good. And I was like, oh, we got to stop. Like we got to stop by making huge mistakes. And so all of that has changed now. And I love you, Stacey. Stacey, you're my favorite. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Stacey. I'm so sorry. And everybody else is like, damn it. I'm so sorry.
Well, and this is what has to be said. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Catherine.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, this is what has to be said about boot camp, though. You guys have to realize that this was a complete prototype. We had never done anything like this before. It was kind of fly by the seat of your pants. Let's make this happen. So let this be an encouragement to you of Marley's awesomeness and the fact that literally most weeks, the pattern was written the day before. Like she worked on it all, like the day before, she's like, all right, let's do this, put it all together, and bam, we made it happen. I think that's kind of amazing because I love my whole set.
Thank you. I mean, it just, as you said, I didn't expect it to be as big as it is. Like, honestly, I thought we were just doing a little bit and then it was like, boom, we're going to do all this. All right, let's go. Yeah. And so I do apologize, you guys, especially for the mitten. I feel like the hat was great. Towel was great.
The hat was great. Yeah.
The mittens hit right at a time where everything went crazy for me. So I just didn't do a very good job. But the pattern now is good. And I did not change any numbers from where I had before, with the exception of the Thumb Gusset rounds, but I put it in there as alternative. So I have the original with the corrected stitch count, but the original where it was every other row, and then the alternative where I was like every third row, which will make your gusset longer, which leads me to something which is really good of, this is a very basic idea of a mitten. How do you change something like that? So for example, like Chrissy, let's pretend Chrissy did every third round, okay, where she did a gusset increase. And she's like, look, it's really big. I wish maybe I should have done every third round for 3 of them and every other round for a couple of them to make it a little bit shorter. When you're dealing with something like this, where it's just really basic, you're not dealing with a particular stitch pattern, that's a really easy fix to do. So don't be afraid to deviate from the pattern in that way, to shorten things up to make them fit better for you. Same thing goes for the stitch count around the thumb. Maybe you do have a really big thumb and you need more stitches. Go ahead and keep working those increases until you have the number of stitches you need to get around your thumb. Or maybe you have a smaller thumb, but a bigger hand, a smaller thumb and a big hand. You need to change up your stitch count there. You can do that also. Or maybe you don't even have a thumb and you're like, I don't even want to do the thumb gusset. You don't need that either. I mean, you can really customize things like this in that manner, just by understanding how these stitches work. How do these decreases and increases work together? And hopefully I've given you those tools to understand things like that. Because I mean, we've talked about where are you going to place your thumb? Well, your thumb doesn't really go on the outside of your hand. It's sort of right here on the palm, right? So I always talk about, I move it into the palm of my hand a couple stitches. I always put it there a couple stitches, which is something you can do on other patterns, guys. If you're following somebody else's pattern and they have it right on the side of their thumb, well, newsflash, the minute you put your hand in that mitten, unless you're holding your hand like this, your pattern on the front is going to be skewed, because the minute you relax your thumb, it's going to skew your pattern. You know what I mean? So your pattern could be here like this as your hand straight, but the minute you relax your thumb, it's going to pull the fabric and your pattern is going to like lean over. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's really smart. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
Those are some smart tips.
One of those things that bothered me so much when I was following other people's patterns. I was like, there's got to be a better way. And then I did my Mittens and Gloves Galore class for Craftsy. And so I was searching all of this stuff for sewn mittens and gloves. And it talked about thumb placement on those. And I was like, well, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah. That's why you're the godfather.
Yeah, the godfather needs a lot of help. I need a lot of help.
So many people in chat. I'm just loving the support, because I know that you put 110% into everything you do, and you do so much for the knit and crochet community. And people here are all saying, like,
thank you.
They're being very supportive, just saying that boot camp was great. You don't have to apologize about this stuff. There's mistakes. One person said, it's nice to know that Marley can make mistakes too. Now I can make mistakes and not feel like, like so inexperienced. So
I totally make mistakes.
We have a great community here. I'm so excited that everyone's here for this.
That you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Because there's always some of those naysayers. Like I had one woman. Did I send that to you, Chrissy? Where she told me that I'm a lion wannabe something or other, and I was like, what? Who are you? So my response was, you're welcome for the free pattern and free video tutorial. I hope you have a good day. I was like, what do you say? I'm now going to sit there and defend myself to somebody who literally knows nothing about me. I'm like, you
right
about me. So anyways, y'all are great. Everybody's been great. So you're intermediate knitters now. You are absolutely, I don't even know if this is the right, you're worthy of walking into a yarn store and being confident in your skills. Does that make sense? Like you absolutely should be able to do that, because you guys are amazing. You guys are leaps and bounds above so many other people. And I think the biggest thing for me is not only seeing the projects that you've made already, but seeing a lot of you venture into making sweaters, making the heck is this called? I just finished
BiCrafty Champions.
BiCrafty Champions. Thank you. And this one's the scarf, but a lot of you ventured into this. I mean, these are not easy stitches, but you believed me. I told you could do it because I know who taught you and I know what you know. And I knew you could do this because it's all about just believing in yourself and taking it one stitch at a time. And a lot of you were able to read the charts, which is huge because here's the news flash through the entire BiCrafty Champions, the charts were never wrong once. We had mistakes every now and again in the written, but the charts were never wrong once. Never once.
The charts never lied.
The charts never lied. And it's because you can see what's going on, but a little word like a knit one can get lost sometimes. But a lot of you did that. You ventured into doing other things. You did the stocking. I mean, I think the funniest thing, I think I got an email from somebody who said, I looked at your stocking and I thought there's no way I could do that. And then she decided to look at the pattern and she was like, well, I could do that. Well, I could do that. Well, I could do that. Well, of course I could do that. Well, I could make this, she's like, I know all of these things. I'm like, I know you can. So that was really cool for me. I was like, I know you could do all this stuff. Like it's amazing the things you can do. And then after doing the mitten with your double points like you guys have, you can absolutely transition and go and do the My First Socks knit along that I did here on YouTube. It's a great course. I absolutely highly recommend it. If you're looking at making socks, it's a good thing to do. So, all right. Have we given all the kudos? Everybody feeling good? Everybody feeling good?
I'm feeling good.
All right.
I'm feeling real good.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at what I have here. And then let's talk about the Kitchener stitch, walk through that. And then I want to walk everybody through a 3-needle bind off. And I chose the 3-needle bind off for a couple reasons. And when we get to that, I'll explain why I chose that for seaming up the cuff. And I didn't, you know what, guys, I deviated and decided not to do duplicate stitch on this with I decided not to put duplicate stitch on it, but I will show you how to do duplicate stitch because it's so easy and it's just like weaving in your ends. And it's a great way to tie up any holes that you might have at the thumb. So I'm going to show you how to do it there. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot to cover. Are you guys good to go? I'm drinking a Rockstar. I don't count it as soda and I only have one every now and again.
I don't count it as soda.
I don't count it because I have not had soda, like soda since May of last year. So, and I only have what it means like once every 3 or 4 months, you know what I mean? Just every now and again. So I'm drinking a Rockstar. Doesn't count as a soda. But yeah, soda, I've had it since May.
That's awesome.
Even though it's 8:41 at night. I got a lot of stuff to do though. Can't go to bed yet. I went to bed at midnight the other night, guys. I felt like I was a queen.
Yeah.
Like, look at me.
I'm in bed at midnight.
True story. And I slept until 8 and I woke up like, what?
Probably so refreshed.
I was like, this is so great. All right. So let me turn on my, my video down here.
All right. Let me mute me so I don't interfere.
All right, I got to put it on speaker view. Let me get all this so that it goes horizontal. Hopefully it does. All right. And we're going to speaker view. Okay, Catherine, I'm going to have you jump in whenever anybody says anything. What is immersive? Whoa, that's weird. Okay. Sorry. Something. I don't know what the heck. Speaker. There we go. Okay, now we got to go to me and I got to go down here. All right. So,
ooh, fancy.
Why is it doing that? I have no idea why it's doing that, y'all. Well, this is interesting. Chrissy, I can't hear you.
I'm on mute and I'm talking to you.
Okay.
Is it because you don't have your headphones plugged in?
Look at you, smarty pants.
I'm like, your headphones, but I'm muted. I'm like, headphones. But I'm muted, so I'm not that
It
smart.
takes a team.
I'm all sitting here talking about how good I feel, then I can't even remember about headphones. Seriously? All right, here we go. Here we go.
Okay, so I'm going to mute myself, but I'll jump in if anything important comes up in the chat.
That sounds good. You know, it's not like I haven't done this before. You'd think I'd be on top of this now, but apparently not. Okay, here we are. Mittens. Okay, so let's talk about this. Once again, we did our thumb gusset. Ideally, guys, we want our thumb gusset longer than this. We want it to be about 2 inches, is usually pretty average. This is not 2 inches. No matter what your husband tells you, this is not 2 inches. Come on, those are the jokes. That is funny stuff. Okay, so we want this to be, Chrissy's losing her crap over there. Okay, so we want this to be about 2 inches. So in order to do that and not like totally get a whole bunch of stitches over here, sorry, Stacy, we can increase every 3rd round instead of every other round. The other thing is, guys, if you want to do every 3rd round and then go to every other round, if you feel like it's getting too long, you can do that too. You can really custom fit this, okay? But it's not the end of the world like we talked about. It's going to be just fine. Now, we finished our gusset, and then the instructions said to work this part of your mitten up. I think I gave you a certain distance. I can't remember, but it should be right about to the top of your pinky, or better yet, I know that the decreases to finish the top of this mitten are about 2.5 inches. So if you work your mitten up to where it's 2.5 inches shorter from where you want it to end, that's perfect. Okay, everybody with me there? You guys they're on the delay and they're just now hearing my two inch comment. So I see all the laughs. Okay, so you've worked up the mitten to where it's about to your pinky. And we want this to be about 2.5 inches shorter than your full length of the mitten. Okay, and that's from where this part is. All right, so if you were to put your hand in there, that's about where mine's going to be. All right, of course, this is customizable. Just like this is customizable, so is this. Now, when you get to this part, you'll notice that I will tell you in the pattern to evenly distribute the stitches, but I give you specific, I shouldn't say evenly, I give you specific stitch counts to put on each needle. So if this is this is needle 1, and then you have needle 2 is over here, needle 3 is over here, needle 4 is here. So like, I think I had like 11, 10, 11, 10, and then there was 10, 11, or no, 12, 11, 12, 11. Then I think it was 14, 13, 14, 13, depending on what size you were making. The reason I'm having you do that is because we're going to work our decreases to where it's worked down to 3 stitches before the end of the needle. So I have to make sure you have the correct number of stitches on that needle to make it work. Does that make sense? Everybody with me on that? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. So let's pick on the one, I think that, let's say it was 11. So if it said knit down to 3 stitches before the end of the needle, and then it would say SSK knit 1. Then it said go to needle 2, and it said knit 2 together, knit to the end of the needle. Then you go to needle 3, knit down to the last 3 stitches, SSK knit 1. And then you go to needle 4, it was knit 2 together, knit to the end of the needle. So once you do that, you've just decreased 4 stitches. Make sense? The other thing you've done by doing that, when you work those decreases, you have that one solitary knit stitch in between them, and it just makes for a nice little connection. Okay, everybody with me there? Cool. You work that up until you get down to the number of stitches written in the pattern. But just like everything else, you guys, that's completely customizable. First off, you're going to decrease every 3rd round I think, was it 3 rounds? I got to come back here and look. 1, 2, 3 rounds, right? And then it's every other round for 3 rounds, right? 1, 2, 3. And then it's every round for 2 rounds, except for the largest size. You do that for 3 rounds. Okay, everybody with me there? Confirm if I'm right on that. That's what I remember writing down. I think that's what I wrote down. But just like down here, say you get up here and you decide you want to do every other round to shorten this up, you could do that. Say you want to end early so that you have more stitches, so it's not as pointy. Maybe you want to end down here so it's a little bit more rounded. That's what I did on, let me grab it. If you guys saw this, I ended on this particular mitten. This was the Feel the Heat mittens. I ended really short and blunt here instead of making it pointy. So you could do that. You don't have to make it pointy. You can make it really short and blunt. It's okay to do that. So the whole point here is to say you can customize the shape of what's happening up here. And here's a little side note, just like in crochet, where you can change up like the top of a hat, the crown of the hat, how you work your decreases, you can do that on here too. I chose decreases on the sides here, like you would do like a toe of a sock or the afterthought heel. This is just like the afterthought heel I used on the stocking. But if you wanted to do like decreases in the round, like you did on the top of your hat, where maybe you knit 6, knit 2 together, knit 6, knit 2 together. I have no idea if that number would work, but you could work decreases and make this more round instead of shaped this way. So there's lots of changes you can do. Okay. Everybody with me on that? Yeah. Okay. Once we get to the top here, we have live stitches. And we're going to graft them together or Kitchener stitch them together. It's the same thing. We're going to essentially sew what would look like a knit stitch to put these together, and it will make it look like it's seamless. Ideally, you want the same number of stitches on this side of the needle as this side. So over here, I put the stitches that were on needle 1 and 4 on one needle and stitches that were on 2 and 3 on the other needle. I have no idea if I have the same stitch count. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay. I don't know why I have 9. Just ignore that, but I do. No big deal. So when we go to decrease, or not decrease, Kitchener stitch here, I usually I have a long tail here and I use my tail to work the Kitchener stitch, but obviously I don't have a long tail here. So I'm going to add a new strand of yarn to do our Kitchener stitch, and we're going to seam this together. So let's do that. Typically when you do the Kitchener stitch, you want your yarn attached to the needle that's in back, and we're going to start up. We'll work through this stitch and then that stitch, and then we get into the pattern. Let me get my tapestry needle. Oops. And yarn. I'm going to do a different color just so you guys can see. When you do the Kitchener stitch, you want your length of yarn about 4 times the length of your width. And guys, I always give myself extra because I don't want to run out. You don't want to run out on the Kitchener stitch. Did I tell you guys last time? It's back to school. Go stock up on all these scissors. Put one in all of your knitting bags. Smartest thing I've ever done. Can I show you something else? Actually, I'll show you. Remind me later to show you something. I love back to school. It's like a holiday. I love back to school shopping. I should be more specific. Okay, so when we have our stitches here, we want to start off. So what we're going to do is come to the front needle. We're going to go in as if to purl and leave that stitch on. And typically, guys, this here would be attached back there, but it's not. So I'm going to leave it hanging. Then we're going to come to the back needle underneath the front, go in as if to knit, and leave it on. This is going to start us off. Okay. Now, here we go. This is the Kitchener stitch. We're going to come back to the front needle. We're going to go in as if to knit and take it off. Go into the next needle on the front as if to purl and leave it on. Come back to the back needle. Go in as if to purl and take it off. Go in as if to knit on that back stitch on the back needle and leave it on. Notice I'm bringing the yarn underneath the needles. Don't pull it super tight, just enough. Come back to the front, go in as if to knit, take it off, go in as if to purl, leave it on. Back needle, go in as if to purl, take it off, go in as if to knit, leave it on. Be very careful you don't let those stitches fall off on accident until they're ready, till it's time. Come back to the front as if to knit and off, purl and on. These tails are really in the way. Back needle, purl and off, knit and on. Front needle, knit and off, purl and on. Back needle, purl off, knit on. As you get going here, can you see the green? See how it looks like a knit stitch? So if that were in blue, that would look seamless. And you could pull that a little bit tighter if you want, if you need those stitches a little bit more snug. But see how we're creating like a knit stitch? Everybody see that? If you stop like what I just did, look at where your yarn is. It came knit and stayed on. So I know I'm on the front. You know what I mean? I'm looking where my yarn is so I can see where I need to go. So I'm going to go knit and off, purl and on, purl off, knit on, knit off, purl on, purl off, knit on. Just keep going until you get all the way to the end. When you get to the last few stitches, you'll end with the knit off and then purl off. Knit off, purl off. I can take my end here, can put it in here. Pull it to the inside. Look at that. That was all the same color. You'd never be able to see that. And then I just have to tuck in these ends, which normally wouldn't be there. Normally this blue yarn here would have been what we were using. Does that make sense? That's how you graft.
Now,
and I have
Marley,
full videos on how to do this on YouTube.
Sorry, can I ask you a question?
Nope. You've
So
used them all up.
I'm sure that someone else did this too. Well, hopefully they did this too. So I had to stop early because of my baby hands. So which is fine. I can totally do exactly what you did. And I don't think it's going to be a weird shape or anything. But when I finished my last round, my working yarn, because I put my number 4 and number 1 on the same needle, it's right smack in the middle.
Oh, knit across, needle 1.
Okay. Perfect.
So that your yarn is across needle 1. Sorry, I probably should have said that. I didn't think about it though.
Fine. That's fine. But I figured somebody else had to have done that too.
Yeah. So knit across needle 1, and that'll put your yarn in the right place.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
That's one of those things that like I just take for granted. Like I just do it because I don't think about it. So it's a very good question.
Marley, Christy wants to know if they wanted to have the end of the mitten be more rounded, how would you get that kind of a look?
So instead of more of a point like this, if she wanted rounded, essentially take the number of stitches you have, and like for round numbers, let's just say you had 60 stitches. You could say, okay, I'm going to decrease every 10 stitches. So you could do knit 8 and then knit 2 together. And then you would knit 1 round and then do a decrease round, and then knit 1 round and do a decrease round. The biggest thing there would be calculate how many rounds you will end up doing until you get to the number of stitches you want to finish off with. And then once you know that, you can divide that by it's 7 rounds per inch for our mittens. So you could divide it by 7, and you can figure out how long your decreases are going to be for the top of your mitten. So instead of 2.5, maybe it's going to be 1.5, and you could prepare for that. But it would just be like decreasing the top of a hat. You would take whatever number you have, divide it by a number that's whatever's divisible in there, like a 4 or an 8, or probably not 4 or 8. What do we have? 54 and 46. And I didn't make it easy for you. Could have made it a lot easier, but I didn't. So that's how you could do that.
You don't become an intermediate knitter in 4 months by doing the easy stuff. Okay.
No easy.
Just saying.
We don't have the easy button here. There's no easy button. So there's that. You guys with me on that? All right. So top of the mitten is done. Looking good. Trying to think. So now it would be the thumb. So come down here. So let's talk about this thumb. We have 1 stitch that we cast on here. And you'll notice in the instructions, I say to pick up 1 stitch at the cast on, and then put all of these stitches on needles so that you can start working in the round. Now, if you were like Marley, 1 stitch, just not going to cut it. I need to pick up a couple stitches. You could totally pick up a couple stitches and then like decrease those extra 2 stitches, or pick up a couple stitches so that you don't get a big old gap and just have your thumb a little bit wider. Totally fine. You can pick up the 1 stitch and then use your tail to create a duplicate stitch to cinch up any holes you might have. Sort of a side note, if you look at all of your mittens or gloves that are store-bought, and once you put them on, take a look, you'll see that there are holes in between like your fingers and your thumbs and stuff. There's little tiny holes. So it's not the end of the world. It's just where the fabric stretches. It's natural. But where was I going with this? The point here is the pattern is written to pick up 1 stitch, but if you wanted to pick up more, I'm giving you permission to deviate from the pattern, because honest to God, I almost always deviate from patterns, even my own patterns, guys. I can't even stick with my own patterns. Like the champion shawl, I was like, do I have to make it the way I wrote it? Can I change it? I never follow anything, ever. But ideally here, however many stitches you have, you want to divide them between 4 or 3 needles. Totally up to you. For the thumb, I tend to go with 3 needles. You don't have to though. You could do whatever works for you. But I'm going to start off by getting these stitches on needles. And word to the wise, if you've never done this before, leave your scrap yarn in place. It is a natural lifeline. So leave it there. Because say you make your thumb and you're like, damn, that's ugly, and you want to redo it, you have a lifeline in place. Okay. Y'all with me on that? Just leave it there. And if yours are at all like mine, you can use your scrap yarn, like this one here. That stitch that's in there wants to kind of hide. So I use my scrap yarn to really pull it up and then get it on my nice pointy Signature Needle Arts needles that I love. I love them so much. Look at this. Chrissy, you see this? Look what I did.
I'm literally obsessed with them now. Like obsessed. Like I don't know if I'll ever be able to use anything else.
We've just been talking about that a bit in the chat. We've been talking about how everyone's just buying tons of needles, but we've been talking about the stiletto points and how it's a lot more fun to have stiletto needles than stiletto heels.
Yeah, right? Like seriously, y'all. Look at this. Do I need more needles?
Marley, it's a sickness at this point.
You know what it is? I was working on my stocking and I wanted to start another stocking and I didn't have another pair of 16-inch circulars of these. And I was like, well, I need to fix that. So
that's me. The only reason that I haven't made my second mitten is because, the only reason I haven't made my second mitten is because I didn't have another set of 7 DPNs. So like now I need to rectify that. And
I'll give you a website. I even used my code. I used Marley Knits. Totally
no
did.
shame.
No shame. No shame. No shame. I totally used it. Yep. Yeah, they're pretty awesome. Just got them in the mail today. Okay. Yeah, it's a sickness, y'all. Okay. Let me get yarn here. I feel like I should make the thumb in green because why not?
Why not?
I don't
Add
care.
some flavor.
I don't care. It's what I feel like it. So I am. Okay. So I have all the stitches on my needles. It's a little tricky, y'all, because they want to go all over the place because it's just a few stitches, right? I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to pick up one stitch, pick up a knit. So I have this one cast on. There's like a bump there. You know what? Let me put it on speaker view again. So there's a bump right there. I'm going to go through that bump. And then you see, I have like, there's the string right there. It's like beneath the bump. I'm going to put my needle in there. I'm going to pick up the stitch all right there. Let's take a peek at what that looks like. I don't hate that. That's all right. Now, there are some patterns that will tell you then to pick up stitches like right here where this, like there's the purple is in the way. Look, I'm getting rid of my purples because I think it'll be easier for you all to see. Normally I keep it in place. I think it'll be easier for you to see. Okay. Sometimes you'll find patterns that'll tell you to pick up an extra stitch here. And you see how if I pull that string right there, you see how it's attached to that string right there? Can you see that? And you see how that string right there is attached to that stitch right there? Okay. So this string right here is like that stitch. So sometimes if I wanted to pick up another stitch, I would go into that and go into that one and pick up a stitch between both of those just to give myself a little bit. But see, I get a little bit of hole there. So then I would say, no, let's try this and go this way. As I lose everything. And I took out my lifeline. See, totally messed myself up. I could pull a stitch there and just kind of tighten those up if I wanted. I'm not going to though, because I want to use the duplicate stitch to show you guys. Pop those in. Okay, so I picked up one stitch at my cast on. And now I'm just going to start knitting. And I'm not going to worry about any holes or anything because I can use my tail. I left a nice long tail that I can go back and sew up any holes I might have using the duplicate stitch. And right here, it's just like any other time you use double points, make sure you keep them nice and close together as you transition from one needle to the next. And you're going to make the thumb until it's just about to the top of where you want it to be. Because for the thumb, we are decreasing, like we're going to decrease every stitch. So like we're going to go and do knit two together, knit together, knit together. So we're going to do a rapid decrease where it's only one round of decreases. So you do want your thumb to be all the way up to where it's to the top of where your thumb is. Also, say you didn't want a full thumb. Maybe you like to text with your thumb. You're like, you know what? I don't want a full thumb. You could just make it like halfway and then just do some ribbing, just a couple rounds of ribbing, and then bind off. And you could have a thumbless mitten if you wanted that. But this is it, guys. This is how easy it is for the thumb. You're just putting stitches back on and knitting. Do you need me to keep going with this? You guys know how to do this. Because I feel like you know how to do this and you could totally follow the pattern to finish this up, why don't I change this one here a little bit and show you how you would make it fingerless, like the fingerless thumb. Everybody good with that? You might as well.
That sounds fun.
Okay.
I have a mitten.
Look at you! Looking good. Looking real good. Looking good, shorty.
That's why I finished so fast with my tiny hands.
You know, it's like the people who wear like a size smaller and medium. They're like knitting sweaters all the time. And here I am going to the knit shop, working on the back of my sweater, and somebody comes up, "Oh, are you making a blanket?" Nope. It's the back of a sweater.
No, I'm not. Thank you.
Have a nice day. True story. Anyways, back when I could go to the knit store and sit and knit. Although I did go to a knit store last week. I don't remember what day it was. Was it Thursday last week? Was I even talking about it here? I don't remember. All I know is an ad for the store came up on Facebook. It had been a day. I was like, yep, I need some retail therapy. And I drove to the store. I got there like 5 minutes before they closed, but I called them and I'm like, I'm on my way there. Please don't close. I need some retail therapy. And she's like, sure, no problem. So I went in, got some yarn. Thank goodness, because I really needed it. I need yarn like I need a hole in the head.
I needed yarn. It was a necessity.
It is.
Like I needed more signature needles.
I know. I totally did. Hey, I need them. And I didn't buy like a full set. I just bought like 5.
Just
I think a full set is 8. I only bought 5.
Should have just went for it. Should have just went for the whole set.
Oh, you're a bad influence. All right, let's just pretend. Let's pretend this is where you wanted to have your fingerless thumb. So if you wanted it to just like, you're okay with it like a natural roll, because if you do stockinette in the round like this and you just bind off when it's just stockinette, it'll naturally sort of roll on itself, which is a really cool look, like a rolled hem. It's a look. But if you don't want it to roll, you need to do something to prevent that, like a ribbing or seed stitch or something along those lines. So I'm going to get over here. And I don't know how many stitches I have. I guess I could count. That's a novel idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 stitches. So I could do knit 1, purl 1, ribbing. So that's what I'll do. I'll just start here and I'll do knit 1, purl 1 for a couple of rounds, and then I'll bind off. You guys can see what that will look like. You're not going to work on your thumb, Chrissy?
I'm trying right now to pick up this. I wasn't paying attention enough when you first picked up the stitch, and now I'm like, I'm scared that I'm
No,
going
don't
to
be
try
scared.
to do it.
Nothing to
But I'm
be
gonna
like, stick your needle in and pick it up.
just make it happen.
Really, you're fine.
I can see it, so I think I
Yeah.
got it. I think I know where I'm going.
Yeah, just stick your needle in and pick it up.
And
We
I also
stick it.
didn't use,
you pick it, we stick it.
I also didn't use yarn. I used one of these little gadgets that look like a safety pin,
I despise those.
which was also a bad idea. Like, why do I think the Godfather doesn't know best? I don't know why I didn't do what you told me to
I
do.
have learned. I know
They're
everybody.
just so cool looking, and I've had them for like 10 years and
They
never
are
been
cool
able to use
looking.
them.
No, I hear you. They are cool looking, 100%. They just suck when it comes to working
Yeah.
things like this in the round. Like if it was just some stitches, like just flat, they're great. But anything like in the round, it's a pain in the rear. I'd rather just have it be flexible with some yarn.
Yeah, sucks. I'm stuck. It's all right. I'm going to do this.
You got it. Catherine, how's everybody doing out there?
I think we're all doing good. We are, I don't know, I'm chatting away with everybody about all kinds of stuff. We're talking about different needles and different yarns and how easy it is to want the better stuff and the better stuff and the better stuff. And we're talking about yarn spinning and how then you start learning about all the different kinds of wool, and then you can really go down a rabbit hole.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so I'm just going to do a couple.
But as far as technique and everything you're doing, it looks like everyone's on board and knows what's going on.
Awesome. All right, so for me, I mean, this is, if I were to deviate from a pattern, shocker, I'd be like, all right, is 2 rounds of ribbing enough? Do I need another round? I think I'm good there, honestly. So then I would bind off, and I have a decision to make. Do I want to bind off as they're all knits? Do I want to bind off in pattern? Do I want to bind off? Like, how do I want to bind off? And for me, I'd bind off in pattern. So that just means I'm going to maintain the pattern and bind off. We talked about this before, I think. So I have a knit one and a purl one. And then I have the knit, jump over the purl. This is a knit stitch, so I'll knit it. Have the back stitch, jump up over the front. That's a purl stitch, so I purl it, obviously. See, this is the way it goes. You're binding off in pattern. I'm continuing the pattern, and then I'm binding them off. So I knit the next one, bind off, purl the next one, bind off, knit the next, bind off, purl the next, bind off. If you're not doing this, you'll see that you make your mitten to where it's about to the top of your thumb, and then you just work a round of knit 2 togethers all the way around, and you finish it off. Like, it's that simple. You guys know how to do this. You absolutely know how to do this. You don't need me for any of this, y'all. You got this. You guys are intermediate knitters. All right, so you come to the end. I'm going to leave a nice long tail so that way I can bring it down and do any duplicate stitching that I need. Needles are done. Away. Okay. Up here, see how you bind off and it kind of is jagged. So I find where my first bind off was. It's right there. See that knit? You see what I mean? Where I'm like, it's like I'm underneath the V, just like you're underneath the V of like a, I don't know what I'm thinking of the word, crochet. And then I'm going to come back over here, come back through. Just kind of try and make it look good. See? And then I'm going to just tuck this down. Normally I would turn my work inside out, but I'm not going to stress about that right now. Normally I turn my work inside out, weave my end in, because I don't think yeah, it's just a string in there right now, but I'm going to bring it down here because when you do duplicate stitch, like say this is all done. Let me just tuck that to the inside. Let's pretend here. Let's pretend this tail's to the inside. And let's pretend it's all the same color, but it's easier for you to see with the different color.
So when you do duplicate stitch, you would do it with the same color?
If you're going to do duplicate stitch to hide a hole, yes. If you're going to do duplicate stitch to create a pattern, you use a different color.
Okay.
Okay. So duplicate stitch is very similar to how you would weave in a tail, how you just follow the pattern of a stitch. Like if we were to follow the pattern of that stitch, it goes up here, it goes underneath both of those, right? So let's just follow it. It goes underneath both of those. It comes around here and it goes down underneath here. It comes back up here and comes around here. Like that's, I'm following a stitch. Can you see how that goes? Okay. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do duplicate stitch to close a hole. I'm essentially going to do duplicate stitch where the hole is large because for whatever reason, that stitch has just been stretched out. So like right here, I do like, let me pull this out. This is the one I originally went through. So as I'm looking here, this here looks like this stitch here just got a little big. And if you follow it, it's underneath both of those. And it comes up here and then it comes around, right? So what I could do, and this is just one of those things you kind of finesse, like you can follow the pattern and then sometimes you can deviate and just kind of just close the hole up. So let's see here. Let's follow it. Let's find it because it starts here, right? And then it comes up here and it goes there, right? And then it comes back here, goes underneath these two. It's already pulling things close. And if this was the same color, you would never see that blue on either side, right? Pull this down. So I'm just holding my fingers on the inside. Comes around here. It looks like it comes up here and it pops out, and that's actually where we were starting to go. But what I want to do, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to come back into this yellow and I'm going to bring it down here and go through both of those. Can you see that? So I'm going to try and close that hole with that. Let's see what it looks like. Doesn't look bad, right? And then I can come through, follow the stitch, and I can weave it down just a little ways to weave in my end. And then finish it off on the inside. But really, this is duplicate stitch. It's literally you're duplicating the stitch. So you follow the path. And it's best to do duplicate stitch to work it down as if you're working, like I very seldom will do duplicate stitch going up and down, meaning I start here and then I jump up to the stitches up, because naturally when you knit, we're back and forth, right? So I'll work down and then I'll come up and come back, go up and go back and go up. You know what I mean? Just like when you're knitting. But here, so let's pretend I'm going to come back. Let's just follow another path. Let's see. I can come up here. And we can come here and go underneath that. And we follow that up. It goes underneath. Come back down, goes underneath. Then it comes back up. Goes underneath there. And at this point, I might go ahead and grab that one there. Let's see what it looks like, just to pull it. And then it comes back here, and I'm going to pull it down. Look at that. No more hole. But a bum. She's magic. No
I
more
love
hole.
that. That was so easy.
Right? Yeah. So when I tell people, don't stress about getting a little hole there. Don't be like, oh my gosh, I'm terrible. I hate picking up stitches. I always get a hole. You can close that up. Leave your tails. Like we still have a hole over here, right? So I could do the same thing over here. It's really that easy. And if this was the same color, you'd never see this. You guys with me so far? We good? We Gucci?
I'm working on my thumb.
All right.
Looks like everyone's good over here.
All right.
We're watching you work and following along and talking about the BiCrafty Champion shawl as well, and
oh yeah,
having a whole conversation.
Do they like the shawl?
People love the shawl. They're in different stages with it. They obviously love the yarn if they got the box, and some of them had to put their mittens or whatever stage of this that they were on kind of to the side while they did the shawl, which is fine, of course.
I can relate. I can absolutely relate. Okay, here we go. So in the interest of showing you a different way to bind off something, I want to show you how to do a 3-needle bind off. Now, a 3-needle bind off is something you would use, it's used quite often, but it's really great to bind off like the shoulders of sweaters because it's a bigger seam at the top of the shoulder and it holds the weight. So like as your shoulders are like the hanger of your sweater, right? So it holds the weight of your sweater. So I really like a 3-needle bind off for that purpose. It's also, it just gives a good substantial join. I don't know about you guys, when you're putting on mittens all the time, you're always pulling on them, right? So I like a nice substantial join at a seam if I'm gonna, I like a substantial seam if I'm doing a cuff like this because I'm always pulling on them, okay? Could we graft this with the Kitchener stitch? Absolutely. You absolutely could do that. But we already did that. Let's learn something else. Let's learn 3-needle bind off. It's really easy, guys. This is like doing a slip stitch join. It's kind of what it's like when you're taking 2 granny squares, buttoning them up together and slip stitching them together. It's very similar. Like if you were to take the outside leg over here and the outside leg over there and bring them together, you know what I mean? And slip stitch, then you have the inside legs are kind of the seam on the inside, very similar to that. All right, back to speaker. So first thing, I'm going to put all of the stitches that were on my holder on my needle. So now let's see if I can see. Can I just tell you, over the last 3 weeks, my eyes have gotten worse and all of a sudden I can't see close up. And it's funny because my friend Ann Burke told me it was going to happen. I was like, no, I'll be fine. Then all of a sudden one day I was like holding my work really far away. I was like, I can't see what I'm doing. It's like, dang it.
It's too much computer work.
I think that's exactly what it is. Anne talked to me the other day. She's like, you are worrying me. You need to sleep. You need to relax. Everybody can wait. You need to be there for you. I was like, I know. I'm going to see her for my birthday. It's my birthday present. I'm very happy.
Oh,
I love
that is
Anne.
exciting.
I know. I can't even express to you how happy I am about going to see her. She's one of my favorite people in the whole world. She's one of those people you hang out with and it's a balm for your soul.
Oh,
Like,
I love
it's amazing. I love her so much. And my husband loves her and we love her husband. So it's just nice. We're all going out. My husband, my daughter, and I are going out there to visit Bill and Ann, which will be lovely.
That's so
all right,
fun.
So I'm going to make sure I have 21 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. Again, if you want to leave your yarn on there as a lifeline, you totally can. Okay, it's up to you. I left my tail over here really nice and long because that's what we're going to use to knit across here. Let's hope it's long enough. It should be. If I remember correctly, I put the knots over here to represent that was the end of my crochet chain, because as crocheters, we all know that if you try and undo the crochet chain from the wrong end, it doesn't want to come undone. And if I remember correctly, it was this end. I think that's why I did all the knots. It's been so long, I can't remember. So I'm going to just undo the chain. And when I do that, and I start to unravel the chain, not train, the chain. Yep, that's the correct end. I'm going to have stitches, and I might come one up short. I'm not real sure there. I'm going to just leave that there. Pop that one off, and you'll see your stitch comes free. Free. Just one at a time. Make sure you don't lose your yarn over. That first stitch wants to disappear because it doesn't have like the sobriety partner on either side. Remember, each stitch has like it's connected to two halves. Let's see here. Come on, done. Split my yarn. Anybody else like holding your breath?
I will be when I do mine in sheer terror.
You can do it. Just take your time. Probably didn't use the best yarn for my provisional because it's a little fuzzy, but it's what I had. Probably should have used a little different yarn, but that's okay. Don't lose those yarn overs, y'all. All right, I should have 21. I might have to. Oh, gosh, darn it. Son of a gun, y'all. I went to pull it and I forgot the knot was there. Dropped stitches. Son of a gun. All right, hold on. Okay, where are they? I don't know. Oh, we're going to have to fudge this. I think that. Maybe that. Oh, man. Don't do what I did. All right. There's one right there. Where was that? Every knitter. They're like, what? What did Marley just do? Marley done messed up. Stupid mistake. Okay, because that's garter stitch. Okay, how many stitches do I have? Yep, 20. Because here's my 21 over here. Because as it was through my crochet, see how it doesn't have a partner over here? So what I could do here, guys, is I could do like a twisted E and put it on there. You guys see that? Okay. Okay. Saved it. Woo. All right. Here we are. Okay, I'm going to pause for a second because I'm a little. Woo!
That was a really scary moment right there.
Oh goodness. Watching a tree.
The tension is real.
For real. Okay. Yeah, don't do what I did, y'all. Throw this away. Oh, my scraps. Ooh, okay. Okay, so stressed. This is actually the easiest part. So you're going to take your yarn because it's still attached, right? I told you to keep it still attached. We have 21 stitches on both sides. We're going to knit into that one, knit into that one at the same time. So it's like you're doing a knit two together. Then you do the same thing on the next, and then you're going to bind off. Dun, dun, dun. You got this. You got this. So I go into both of those, just like if you were with a crochet hook going through two parts of a motif and knit them together. Pop them off. Go into both sides. Knit them together. Pop them off. Back stitch jumps over the front stitch. I have no idea why I'm holding my yarn in the other hand. Habit. Teaching. So then you do one more. Back jumps over the front. It's just like a slip stitch, guys. So if you had a crochet hook, you can do slip stitches. Essentially what you're doing, right? Everybody's so quiet.
Concentration.
Yeah, I know. They're still like trying to recover from me dropping stitches.
Everyone's on the edge of their seat. Cindy's asking if you can go back to the bigger screen so she can see what you're doing better.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. My bad. Sorry. Go through the front, go through the back, knit them together, and at the back stitch, jump the front. It's just like a slip stitch join. It's called the 3-needle bind off. So, crocheters, if one of your motifs had one extra stitch versus the other, what would you do if you were joining them together? You'd either skip one, right? Or you'd like do two with one, right? Same thing here. You don't want to skip it because we need it to be bound off. But let's say I only had one left here. If I had two here, I could go into one here and go into two there, or vice versa. So if for some reason, sometime down the line, something doesn't match up perfectly, you can fudge it. Now you do want to be aware, you will be able to tell that ever so slightly, especially if like it's the seam of a shoulder, because you just will. But you can do that. All right. So once again, I chose this bind off so that we could learn a different bind off. You can absolutely just do a catcher stitch bind off if you want. It wouldn't show as seam like right here. You have an actual seam connecting the two, just like you would if it was a slip stitch seam of motifs. I don't mind that. That's me. But if you want that to be more invisible, you'd want to do what we did up here to join that. And you already know how to do that. We just did it. It'd be the exact same thing. But now you know how to do the 3-needle bind off. So you would go weave in all of your tails and you'd have your mitten. Let me take off my ring. It's killing me not having all my tails woven in, because I usually have them all woven in. But there you go. Nice little mitten. The top of my mitten. Da, da, da.
Mitten.
Mitten.
I'm like wishing that I did decide to do the thumb open. I kind of really like that.
Yep. All sorts of options.
I love the cuff, like big time.
It's cool, right?
Yeah, it's just so pretty.
I did a shawl with that cuff too. I used that cuff in a mitten in the Mittens and Gloves Galore class on Craftsy. It was this cuff. It was a gusset thumb, and then I did short rows up here, so that way as you're holding your hand like this, you had a natural sort of cup of the mitten itself, so that you kind of had like a resting place for your knuckles, so that as you're holding like a steering wheel or something. So I did something like that. But there's all sorts of different things you can do when it comes to mittens. They're fun to play with.
We have a couple of questions here on the 3-needle bind off. One is it strong enough to do shoulder seams?
Yes.
Yep. Yes, it is.
Yep.
And then the other one is, do you happen to have a video of just doing that technique?
The 3-needle bind off?
One. The 3-needle bind off. Yeah, I don't see
think
one
so.
at a glance.
No.
So
I will make one, because I have a full list of little tiny videos I want to create. So I will make a 3-needle bind off video.
Awesome.
But basically that's it, y'all. I mean, it looks just like slip stitch joint of two motifs.
Oh, so pretty.
I like it. I like how it's raised up.
Yeah, I do too.
You can do it from the other way. You could do the 3-needle bind off where the seam goes on the opposite side. So it would look like this. Does that make sense? But I like the seam. So, I mean, I guess it's whatever you prefer. I like the seam showing. You don't have to have the seam showing. You can do it where the right sides are facing each other like this. And then that puts the seam on the opposite side. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Because then your bind off would look like that. I like the seam. I guess I probably should have prefaced that before. I like the seam. So it's whatever you prefer. Pretty cool. There you go. I think that's everything we wanted to get through today. Is that right? I'm going to go back to my other microphone.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
Have we given away all the giveaways for, because this entire section, guys, was sponsored, I don't even know if that's the right word, supported by Signature Needle Arts, which, as you guys know, whether they were sponsored or not, I was going to use them. I love them. So it's not just one of those. I feel like that hair club for men, you know, where it's, I'm not just the owner. I'm a customer too. Because I mean, seriously, I feel like this should like a picture. I just do. I like them a lot. I like them a lot.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
So, how's everybody feeling? Pretty good. Are you going to do the 3-needle bind off with the seam showing or not showing? I'm curious what everybody's going to do. That color is so pretty. I love Chic Sheep. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Me too.
These are Chic Sheep too. These might fit you, Chrissy. Look at this. You can tell when I get done with a video, if they're just like, because I just made these for the video, so I never tuck in my ends for things for videos, but these are so tiny. They might actually fit your hands. They do not fit mine. They're so tiny. But anyways, any questions? Anything out there? Whatever. I mean, obviously when we're live like this, I can't look at the chat very well.
Oh.
Hear my dog. All of a sudden, my dog started barking.
He's mad.
It's dinner time over here. I'm on the West Coast, so it's 6:45 over here, and he's like, "Where is my meal, Mama?"
He's like, "What are you doing right now?"
I went to dinner tonight. It's the first night I've really had a good meal with my family in forever. And I told my husband, I'm like, we're going out. Like, I want to go have dinner.
Right.
So we went out to dinner. They want the seam showing. I like the seam showing. You know what? If you guys look at some of my crochet, you'll notice that I like the seam showing quite a bit on that too. I think it's just a really cool dimensional touch to it. Something I like.
Yeah,
I just reposted an older video of yours where you did a cowl that has like a butterfly. I don't even think it's your pattern. It was one that you did a video for.
Yeah, the papillion or whatever.
And it has like the bobble, and it's kind of that same effect. It's the like external texture, and it has that really cool, like almost looks like a butterfly body effect. It's cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. Marley, you wanted to show us something. Oh, what was it I wanted to show you?
She thought it might be the I-cord maker.
No, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is like, if you have not watched, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not watched any of the videos for the Christmas stocking, I highly recommend you at least watch the third one, like the last like 10 or 15 minutes, where I use the I-cord maker because it's awesome. It's everything I knew it was going to be when I bought it. I was like, this is going to be great. No, I want to show you. So I was talking about how back to school shopping is like a holiday. Like it's an actual, like, it's a big deal thing for me and my family. Like, I love it. And so this year when I went, I found like the best things because I'm just such a geek when it comes to stuff. Hold on. I always get extra like graph paper and pens and pencils, but hold on, I gotta find what I'm looking for. See, I even bought more scissors. Gotta find what I'm looking for. Okay.
Hi, everyone. We're waiting for Marley.
Such a geek.
No, there's a geek.
Like,
the baby joined.
Look at this, you guys. It's a school bus with Marvel characters.
Oh, that's really cool.
And I was like,
that's really cool.
That could hold like all my hooks and stuff. And like,
so cute.
I was like, I gotta get that. Then this is a little Captain Marvel, like little toolkit. Like there's you know what I'm trying to say. Stapler, tape and staple remover and pencil sharpener and eraser. A whole bunch of like little tool things in there, right? So like it's like perfect little size. Look at you, Chrissy.
I've got a thumb.
And this is like the best thing ever. You guys ready?
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that the best? Because
that's really cool.
It is freaking Spider-Man on a unicorn.
On a unicorn.
I like it.
Like that's really cool.
And I thought it'd be great to hold hooks.
Oh,
that's fun.
Right?
Yeah, that's a great hook.
It's a pencil organizer, but I was like, that's like perfect.
Yeah.
I just did a post today. I don't know if you saw it, but my blog post today was all of the suggestions people had for how to store their knitting needles.
Oh, that's good.
I'm going to do one for crochet hooks too, but a lot of them apply. You can use a lot of the same ones.
So like,
and there were so many good ideas that people gave us. So that's up now.
See, you can get your Post-it notes and put them in the little pocket there.
Oh, cute.
Like, guys, this is so awesome. Target. That's what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you how cool this was. What did I write on here? Wow, I don't even know what that was, guys.
On here.
I know. And then I got little tiny Post-it notes. These are like tiny Post-it notes as opposed to like the normal size Post-it notes.
Oh, wow. Those are tiny.
Oh, those are cute.
Right? And then, I mean, you guys, I just went a little crazy because then I got
They want to know where you went shopping. They want to know where you found it all.
Target. And then honestly, guys, online, these are some of the best brands, pens and stuff. Ooly, OOLY. Like OOLY. They're some of the best pens for journaling. And so I buy them online. A friend of mine gave them to me I even bought more. A friend of mine gave them to me. And as a gift several years ago in a little packet of 5, and I only have like 3 left. And one day I was using them. I was like, gosh, I love these pens because they're like this super fine point.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can tell. Super. I mean, they're just awesome. And so I was looking at it. I was like, I wonder if that brand has a website. And then I went to the website and I was like, oh yeah. Oh,
I'm there.
Called my name. I mean, I was like everything you can imagine. And so, yeah, they're really good. But I mean, I'm ready whenever anybody needs anything. I'm good to go.
I love it.
So I love back to school. I love it. I always have. Like I've always.
See, if you're gonna show your back to school sickness, I'm gonna have to show mine too.
Okay,
but
please
mine.
Don't make me
Mine.
Myself.
Mine is composition books, Marley.
Oh, I love those. I love those so much.
Okay, look, I went to the Dollar Tree like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, composition books were not this cool when I was younger. Like they had, so there's hearts. This one says, smile, shine bright, be kind.
Nice.
Like this one says, be cool, and it's a panda bear with sunglasses. I mean, like I literally spent like $30 on, these are dinosaur star constellations. I literally spent like $30 on composition books because I couldn't stop myself.
Those are so cute.
I understand.
I mean, look, girl vibes, roller skates. Are you kidding?
Look at this. I got 2 other things. All right, so here's one. It's just a pencil case, but it opens up and it stays open, and it's like
love that.
And it's just like
no, I need one of those.
It's great. I gotta show you something else. It's like the best thing. Hold on, it's on my studio desk.
Yeah, I'm gonna need one of those though. If it sits open like that, I'm gonna need that.
Oh, this one's even better. So I love coloring, especially like my charts and stuff, you guys. So these twistables, the Crayola.
I love the twistables. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Buy this. Okay. It's called Case It. See? Look. If I drop it. So this, it sticks down there, magnet. It sits. I usually have these scissors right there.
Oh, I love it.
Pencils, and so it sits.
Yeah, I'm gonna need one of those.
Gotta have one of these.
I'm gonna need both of those 2 things you just showed.
It's like fantastic. So I was like, I gotta have that. I gotta have it.
That's gonna be a necessity.
Yeah, at Target. I bought all this at Target, y'all. And then the Comfort Twist. Hold on, let me put this away. Yeah, I love this. I love this. These pens are awesome too. They aren't the Uli. These are ball friction erasable pens. I don't know, they come in all sorts of colors, and so I can erase my stuff on them. I love them. This thing is awesome. You still have a chance to win this if you guys want to try and win this. The entry is on the day 3 of the stocking pattern. There is an entry form you can enter to try and win. I mean, this thing is awesome, you guys. Like
it is very, very cool.
It's so great. Yeah, those are my fun things. You want to know another thing that's really awesome? So I haven't talked about it. Okay, so talking about the champion shawl. Some people bought kits. We talked about this. Some people were not sticking with gauge or just getting a little bit off and then running out of yarn. So all along I was just like, you have to be very careful, have to use how much yarn, whatever not. Because I did the same thing. I didn't run out of yarn. I had to be very careful because I wanted to make sure I had yarn left over. So if people didn't, there was some leeway, right? Long story short, I only had my bigger scale, and it's like it would only go down to like 3 grams. It would never go beneath. I could never measure anything past. So I was like, I need one that can go even slower. This thing was like $12 or $13 on Amazon, and it is awesome. Like it goes down to like 0.01 grams.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
For $13, the best money I've ever spent in my life.
Yeah,
like it is so good, and like I just keep it here, and I'm just like, oh, look how much that weighs. Really, really great, really great. Love that too. Not sponsored. Just I can give you a
I'm
affiliate.
literally,
You want
I'm
an
literally
affiliate?
on Target.com looking up these cases. That's what I'm
The case
right now.
The
Yeah.
case it.
Case
Yeah.
also has
I
its
get
own
it.
website. I don't know
They
if the
do.
prices are different, but they have their own website too.
What does?
Case it.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. The things you learn. Lindsay loves the friction pens. You know what? That's probably where I heard about them. It's probably from Lindsay because I was like, "Ooh, I gotta have these." I love pens. Shocker! Look what else I bought. You guys ready?
Oh my goodness, I love that.
fun.
Isn't that great? I
Bag
got
of
that
tricks.
at a local store to me. Somebody made it. I was like, "That's cute. I gotta have that."
I'm trying to think about where it is right
I
now.
feel like this is like a big show and tell.
I know. I have a really cute pouch like that looks like Ray Dunn, and it says stash. That's like my favorite little bag.
You want to see what else I recently got? You guys want to know what this is? That's an 18 terabyte external hard drive.
That's crazy.
18
Nice.
terabyte because my 10 terabyte is full, my 8 terabyte is full, my 5 terabyte is full, and my 2 terabyte is the one that I use as I go through all the videos.
Wow.
I need stock in hard drives, y'all. This is bad. 18 terabytes. You know how
Yeah.
big
You deleted a ton of stuff.
Share my website, y'all. I need to make some money. Need some money.
Well, you're helping other companies make money because at least 2 people bought that scale based on your recommendation.
Dude, let me give you an Amazon link, my affiliate Amazon link, because that scale is awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, Melissa just asked for a link.
Okay. Yeah, that scale is great. Like, I will be honest, I got one and it came and it was broken, and not that exact same one. Like, I got a different one. So I contacted Amazon. I'm like, I'm going to send this back. They're like, just keep it. I just threw it away because it really didn't work. And then I ordered that one thinking, well, I'll just give this. And this one's been great. It takes AAA batteries and it's been awesome. So hopefully yours works fine. Whoever gets it. Let's see. I want to make sure I give you the link to the very one I ordered. So give me just a second. I'm going to go back and find the one I ordered. So that way you get the exact same one.
Well, I love hanging out with you guys. I would love to stay here forever, but my dog literally just threw a tennis ball at me, like got up here and threw it at me. So I think I should probably go do dinner.
That is hilarious.
Go feed him before you attack.
He's a character. He's telling me it's time.
So funny. All right. So I just popped the Amazon link for that scale in the chat. I'll add it to the video description box too, so you guys can see it in there. Awesome. Let me just put it up here. And just a reminder, guys, that ad-free PDF that I put on my website, it will only be there until Sunday. Then I'm going to remove it because I do eventually want to sell all 3 patterns together. So I just want you to know that. Let's see, scale. Affiliate.
So while you do that, I'm going to say goodbye. I want to tell everyone I have had such a great time in boot camp. The lives I've been able to come to, like, the community is great. And I really, really hope so many of you show up when we start in September with Crochet Boot Camp. I want to come back and see everybody here. So that's what I've got. I'm going to go feed the dog.
All right.
Awesome. Bye, Catherine.
Bye. Good to be with you tonight.
Oh my gosh, it was so nice having everybody here. Okay, so the affiliate link is in the chat, guys. I've also put it in the video description box if you're interested in that scale, because it's awesome. Other than that, Crochet Bootcamp starts at the end, let's see, September 1st. Gosh, I can't believe it's already here. So all the knitters who want to learn to crochet, it's time. Your ticket has been punched. It's time. It's come to join the fun. And as you guys make the mittens and the hat and the gloves and, like I said, no, the mittens, the hat, the cowl, and you wear it as fall's just right around the corner, you guys. It's just right around the corner.
It's so close.
I would love to see everybody in pictures with their stuff on.
Me too.
That would be fun. Yeah, that'd be fun. Okay, well, I'm actually gonna go to bed. It's 10 o'clock. I'm gonna go sit in bed and knit for a little bit. Knit for pleasure. I'm not gonna knit for anything specific. I'm gonna knit for pleasure, which I haven't done in a while. Let's be honest, it always turns into a pattern afterwards because I'm like, this is really cute. Other people need to make this. So yeah, it always happens. That's okay.
We always benefit from it.
Always, always. Okay, everybody says they're going to miss us. That's all right, guys. We will be back once again. Crochet for Knitters. You definitely want to join in the fun. There are some big projects ready to go for that. Even a sweater project is going to be one of their projects. Chrissy doesn't even know this, but I have the Marley Made Me Do It crochet cardigan to match the Marley Made Me Do It knit cardigan. So that is actually going to be one of the big projects for the crocheters because it's a big, intense one. Yeah. And we're going to use Knit Picks Brava for that. So it will be a good project for that. But there's going to be a lot of other little projects around there. Yeah, it'll be a good time. Big stuff going on. I also want to make some blankets. I'm excited to make some blankets.
Yes. We're going to have a blast. So hopefully you'll all come back because you already know how to crochet. So really you'll just get to hang out and enjoy yourself and help out. I know that a lot of our knitters jumped in and helped you guys, which is awesome. So hopefully you'll come back and join us.
All right, guys. Just last but not least, the pattern booklet with the stocking that Brianna Kay and I did. It has 6 patterns in it, guys. So there's 3 knit patterns, 3 crochet patterns. Now that you guys are BiCrafty, it's 6 patterns for one low price and you can make all of them. So if you're interested, that is on my website and it is half price right now. So it is half price. And then I'm going to let you guys in on a little tiny secret here. We gave out a special discount code to people who were doing the BiCrafty Champions. So I'm going to let you know about it in case you're interested. But if you put $20 worth of patterns from my Ravelry store in your checkout box and use the code BiCrafty, you'll get $10 off. And you can use that as many times as you want. So like, in the sense of put $20 in, use the code and pay. Put $20 in, use the code and pay. Like, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Use it as many times as you want. So there's that. But then also guys, just recently on the storefront once again is the Marley Made Me Do It small Erin Lane bag. So Lindsay just released those again on her website. She made some up for me because I knew that you guys would probably want some of those. And they are great bags. I love them. They're purple. They have a bunch of the Marley bird, the sheeple looking Marley birds. You know what I mean? They're not sheeple, but it's the bird, the cartoon bird, the one that's smashing the like button, the one that's doing the stash diving, the one that says, looks like an angel, one that looks like a devil, and they're like pulling a sign that says Marley Made Me Do It. There's one that's doing beading. There's lots of fun stuff going on there. So that's a fun bag. It's not expensive at all. And you have to get those on erinlanebags.com. I got to find a link. Let me find a link while I'm doing that. Do you have the link right there? I probably have the link. I have the link. Let me get.
Okay.
How many times can I say I'll get the link? For real, dude. All right, hold on. Here it is. It is on her website. You can order them directly from her. She'll send them out. So that's my collaboration. So it's an exclusive fabric that is only available for limited time. Control V. I know that there are quite a few of you that got these last year about this same time frame. So hey, why not get another one? I'm going to put a link to that also in the video description for those of you who want to get it there too. So let me do that, because they are awesome bags. I have some new bags ready to put together and send out, but I'm kind of waiting to see how everybody feels about it all. So Marley Made Me Do It. You guys know it's like MMMDI, right? Bag from Erin Lane Bags. Got it. All right, so that's saved in there. So you can totally get that. All right, Chrissy, you got anything else, my friend?
That's it. I got a mitten. I got one. Now I got to make the other one.
Yeah, you got to make them for your girls. Got to make them for your husband. You got to make it for your sister. Got to make it for everybody.
Everybody needs mittens.
Everybody gets mittens. And then
everybody gets mittens.
Everybody gets mittens. Lots of mittens. Yay, lots of mittens. They're fun to make, there's so much fun. And those of you who got the Stash Busting Quickie book last year, there are some fingerless mitt patterns in there that are fantastic. I love them. There's a couple, I think there's some mitten patterns in there too. Just fun stuff. You can totally hang out with all of that. All right, guys, that's it for me. It's It's been lovely. I enjoyed this. And just so you guys know, these videos and these patterns and instructions and everything will be on the website for free until I put up the workshop as I want to say as I put it on a paid platform. Yeah, as a paid course. You guys, my thank you to you for going through this, being the guinea pigs, so to speak, is that it's all free for right now. But when it becomes a paid course, we will let you know about that. Make sure you're signed up to the newsletter for BiCrafty Bootcampers, guys. And when we make it a paid course, just FYI, we're going to give you like a super deep discount. So make sure you have, you are signed into that newsletter, because that's where you're going to get that information. We're going to make it public to everybody. It's going to be like, hey, you participated in boot camp. If you want all of those lessons and everything all nice and tidy in one little place with, it won't be these live videos. It'll be like content videos, like really well curated content videos. You want it all in one place together. We'll let you know. All right. You're good.
It's going to be fun.
Okay, guys, that's it. Talk to you later.
Bye.